you're on the web that you keep your Zoom window open. Terry will be going through some visuals that you might want to follow along with. If you're on the phone, those materials that are referenced can be distributed afterward, and we'll do our best to kind of summarize any questions that come in through chat. If you don't mind, please stay muted and keep your camera off. This will just minimize background noise and distractions during the call. Terry does have the capability to mute you. If she does do that, then it will give you a notification that you have been muted. You should have been automatically muted as you joined the call this morning. If you would like to contribute, we're going to try to use the chat feature of Zoom in order to kind of monitor comments and questions that are coming in throughout the presentation. If you'll go to the bottom of your controls panel on your Zoom window, you will see kind of in the middle of the screen that there is a chat button. If you click on that, it will open a window within your computer screen that is labeled chat, and on that you have the ability to type a message. You can either comment with something simple like I have something to add about X, or you can type out the full question. And if you're dialed in on the phone, like Terry said, many of you are, you have the ability to raise your hand and indicate that you want to contribute by using *9. So keep that in mind. We'll try to remind you of that throughout the call. When it's time for questions and comments, we'll go down through the comments that came in the chat window first. So starting kind of top first to last, and we'll take everybody one at a time. If it's something that requires input from the caller, then we will ask you to unmute your phone and then kind of have you contribute that way. Otherwise, Terry will read the question or kind of summarize what was asked so that everybody both online and on the phone understand what question we're addressing. If you're on the phone and you're asked to unmute, you can use *6 to unmute yourself. And again, we'll do our best to remind you of that when it comes time, but please stay muted unless instructed to unmute your phone by Terry. And what we'll do is we'll again go through the chat first and then address those phone call questions last, kind of going one by one and calling you out by phone number if you have your hand raised using that *9 feature. I think also we wanted to just tell everybody that this meeting is being recorded, so if we feel like it's necessary to distribute it after, we will be able to do so. That's all I got.
Thank you, Julia. So Chip had to jump on a call talking with the chamber and city. Everybody is working in really close communication with one another to try to stay on top of this as much as possible and get all of the information gathered so nobody's feeling overwhelmed, and we're providing the details in a really organized manner. So he apologizes that he couldn't join us on the call. I'm going to start with some communication updates to let you know how we're communicating with you guys and then how we're communicating with the general public. I have a couple of notes from Chip, and then we'll just open this up to questions and comments that all of you guys might have. So starting with the communication channel, we're going to keep it old school and use email. So please keep me posted, keep us posted on things going on, information as it changes rapidly. If you want us to get the word out about specific happenings within your restaurants, just feel free to shoot us an email. I think everyone has my email address. We've been following updates of newsletters that you guys have been sending out and other communication pieces as well. Our Slack channel has been really effective. Cindy is overseeing Slack efforts. If you guys are not familiar with Slack, it's kind of a great way to keep in touch via instant message. If you reach out to Cindy, her email address is cindy@downtownboulder.org. She can get an invitation to you to join. We have a general channel that will allow you to communicate with everybody in the downtown Boulder community that's part of our Slack channel. And then we have a restaurant-specific channel that allows you all to communicate with one another. So if this is of interest, it's just another form that we'll be using to make sure we get information out quickly and effectively. Our office is all working remotely, but our phone system is up and running. Our phone number is 303-449-3774. You can call us. If some person doesn't actually answer the phone, just go ahead and leave us voicemail messages. We get notified on our email that someone's left us a message, and we can call you back right away. So please don't hesitate to reach out in whatever manner is easiest for all of you. In terms of communicating with the public, we are trying to keep our website up to date on an hourly basis. So if you go to the homepage of our website, there's an alert at the very top. That read more link will take you to this page. You can see here under closures, cancellations, and temporary changes to business operations, I'm putting the date of when I'm updating details. The first section under that part talks about Governor Polis's mandate yesterday about the temporary suspension of dine-in services at restaurants and bars. Just kind of gives a quick overview of who that affects and what that means. Below that is all the people that have contacted us directly with information about changes to schedules and closures. Just a quick mention so I don't forget, effective yesterday, the city of Boulder announced that all of their parking structures are going to be free through March 29th. When people enter the parking structure, they're still going to take a ticket because the gates are down. They want to keep track of how many people are coming and going. So a person will still grab a ticket. They need to hold on to their ticket. And when they leave, when they insert their ticket, the gate will open and there'll be no charge. Chip gave an unofficial announcement on the retailer meeting. This is not necessarily public, or again, it hasn't been made official from the city, but he expects that on-street parking is going to follow a similar suit, and there's no parking enforcement happening right now. Again, that is not an official word from the city, but it's just a heads up to you guys that they are not enforcing parking right now. We are going to work in the next couple of days of creating a better visual to help people understand what our small businesses are doing, what alternatives are. So eventually we're going to take all the information we've been collecting here and put it on a web page that we'll start promoting heavily through all of our communications. Right after this meeting, we're going to send out a link to this spreadsheet. If you've already communicated with us and your information is on that prior web page that I've already shown you, you do not have to fill this out again. This spreadsheet is strictly for businesses who've not been in contact with us yet. If you go in here and you fill out information, if you are selling gift cards, if you are taking online orders, phone orders, if you're offering curbside pickup or delivery, if you give us all that information, we're going to take that along with everything we've already received, and we'll put it together in that nice web page that we can start promoting to the public. So look for that shortly after this call. We've been a little bit quiet on social media. I feel like there's a fine line of our messaging and communication about social distancing, and also wanting to make sure people are supporting all of you guys. But we are going to ramp up a campaign. I pulled this, sorry, let me get this. I pulled this from a friend yesterday. Our message is going to be, let's remember all the people behind the small business themselves. Let's remember all of the employees and people that really need our help and support right now. So that's kind of the tone of how we're going to push things out over the next several days. I've been following along in Denver. They have launched this great campaign that's called, or hashtag We've Got This Denver. And they're showing people, they're showing their employees, they are smiling, they look happy. Right now, when everybody's a little bit freaked out and social distancing kind of feels like isolation, I want to showcase everybody that's still out there, and I want to bring some smiles to everybody's faces. So I'm going to ask all of you to send me images of things happening that are still happening, of your employees working and smiling and happy. We'll start rolling those out on social media and kind of trying to do a similar thing like they pulled together in Denver. So I think the easiest thing right now is to send me those images via email, and we'll start rolling that out by the end of the week. A lot of people have already taken a lead on sending information to your customers directly. We have a ton of really great examples of promotions and things you guys are doing to try to encourage people to think outside of the box of how they normally dine in and support you. So if you would like any examples of any of these things, please reach out and I can forward you these emails. This one I liked because in addition to saying what they were doing in their store, they also talked about, this is from Kucha, they talk a lot about the different teas that can help with stress and anxiety. So they're offering some additional information to kind of support the community as we all kind of figure our way through this. So happy to share any of those emails with all of you guys as well. Again, Chip apologizes that he had to jump onto that other call, but he's working really close with a lot of people. There was a lot of questions on the retailer call about property owners and relief with rent. All of those questions are still up in the air right now. Chip's reaching out to those property owners to try to get a sense of where they are right now, and we know that a lot of that information will be changing as things develop. So we don't have a lot of updates in that area. A lot of people also inquired about unemployment and some of the questions that are coming up about resources for employees. Again, we are working really closely with the Chamber and the Small Business Administration to get those kind of answers. Sorry, I'm flipping around here. If you go to our website, that COVD page, and you scroll down, rather than all of our different local organizations giving you resources, we're trying to be smart about this. So we are directing everybody with questions about your businesses and employment and everything to a resource page that the Chamber is hosting. So again, you can get to that link through our website. On the Chamber site, it has a bunch of different tabs. The Business Resource tab has a lot of information that they're pulling together about the sick leave requirements and policies, and other things as they arise. Again, I don't have too much information in this area. Chip is going to stay on that conference call. There was a ton of questions that came up on the retail call that he's going to share with them, and then we are going to kind of field the questions that you guys have as well and share those with Chip so he can make sure all of the things that we are unclear of or don't have answers for at the moment, we can get those to you eventually. It just might not be immediate on this call. I think most of you guys are, especially in your industry, are well aware of what the governor issued late yesterday evening. I pulled excerpts from the press release, and I also posted it on our website in terms of the order on the temporary suspension of dine-in services. So there's a blurb up there just so everybody's aware of who that affects and what that covers. And again, as information is being released to us at the state, city, and county level, we'll continue to update information from there. let me see what else Chip mentioned. Staff, Julia or Cindy, if you wrote down any notes that I'm missing from what Chip said, please chime in. There was an emergency city council meeting last night after the governor talked. So they did not extend, city council did not extend any additional restrictions at this time other than what Governor Polis put into place. City services, all non-essential public services with the city, so the library, all of those non-essential services are closed. A lot of the city people are working from home, and we, again, are in close contact with them on an hourly basis. The chamber sent out a survey asking what relief small businesses are going to need and kind of where you guys all were last week. That is the information. I think 300 businesses responded that they're discussing right now to figure out the best course of action moving forward and how they can best support you. Julia or Cindy, was there any more updates that Chip mentioned that you think would be beneficial to note? Okay.
I can't think of anything else. He was just,
okay.
We were collecting a lot of the questions that we couldn't answer right then for Chip to bring to his next meetings to get answers on. So
perfect. That's kind of the overall update from us. We now want to just open it up. I'm going to have Julia help kind of field questions, especially from everybody that's just joining us via phone. But if you have any comments, I have one already in the chat. Go ahead and start sending them, and we'll start with that. And then if people have something you'd like to verbally contribute, please just let me know, and then I'll start calling on people in order of that I receive. I got one comment right now. If anyone on this call has employees they released yesterday due to closure, can you please share your experience and how these employees can get unemployment benefits? Again, from DBP, the unemployment question is still one that we are trying to work through to understand. So at this time, we don't have any information to provide directly on that. Is there anybody else? Area code 310-804 has a hand raised, so go ahead and unmute. Maybe you have something to share.
Hey guys, this is Erin Palmer from Frosca and Pizzeria Locale. I hope everyone is hanging in there. We did send an email yesterday. We have closed all 4 of the restaurants. We are not operating to go right now. We're just closed. So that being said, what we did follow up with was that as far as we know and hope, we have directed our employees to a link that I can share. I'm happy to share with the group just on unemployment. It is up to the state, so you can apply for benefits online. And again, I can share the link of where we've directed our team. And then our us as the employer will respond to those claims that the separation was a result of furlough. Currently, it's our understanding that the state does approve unemployment under those circumstances. So again, I'm happy to share. I can email Terry, I can email you the link that we passed along to our team. And there are Spanish and English versions in that. So again, that is our understanding that if we did have to place everyone on unpaid leave, that they could apply for benefits with the reasoning that it was furlough and that it would be approved. That's our current understanding of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin. I have a lot of people asking to share the link. So as Erin said, she will share it with me and I will get it out to you guys as soon as possible. Erin is on the phone, so she's not near a computer right this second.
Yes. Do I just go *6 to mute myself again?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Erin. Does the limitation of gathering sizes on public property mean anything for the mall? Can people still walk the mall? Yes, the limitation was on organized gatherings, so people are welcome to still be outside and walk the mall. Does anyone know how the emergency leave with pay rules work? Is this for any employee that calls out sick, and do we have just 4 days worth of hours? Do we add just 4 days worth of hours to their paycheck? Again, this was a big question that came up on the retail call that Chip is going to work to get clarification in before we give you any information on that. Erin might have raised her hand again, so she might have details on that. Erin? Or maybe she just had her hand raised.
I'm sorry. No, I think I just have my hand raised still. I don't have any information on that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No worries. Okay, so again, we will work to try to get you guys resources that clearly explains that rule. A lot of people have been asking that question, so I don't think that the information out there has been clear enough that it makes sense. So we will let them know. We are writing all of your questions down again that we don't know. So Russ, we got your question written down as well, and we'll get back to you. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or share with the group? Anybody? Okay. We are here. The staff is here. We're working kind of around the clock to make sure you guys have support. Our next big initiative is to get that webpage done that clearly shows all of the other alternatives you guys are providing. So we'll get information out. Again, please take pictures and share pictures with me of your employees. Like, let's show people's faces. That would be really helpful. Again, someone from the city just chimed in, but everybody, the city, chamber, and Chip are all together right now trying to get those questions answered in terms of those details we don't know just yet. Another question came up, is anyone having luck with lost income claims with insurance? Someone responded to that, our insurance won't cover only physical loss. I think Erin raised her hand again on that one.
Hi, it's Erin again. I wanted to chime in about, sorry, my kid needs Cheez-Its. The collective response from Boulder. I mean, I think the marketing effort is great. We cannot contribute to that. We don't have any employees right now, but I think it's great to highlight to go. I just was on a call with the James Beard Foundation. They are working with policymakers right now, to try to lobby to get our voices heard in the next relief package that is currently being discussed by the Senate right now. Obviously, we are up against the airline industry, which is being, that was the only industry that Trump noted in his, impact statement last night, basically. Their advice was to, and my colleague Alicia is on a call with the CRA this morning as well. Their advice was to consolidate our messaging and let our voices be heard. Some great examples were, and obviously we're a much smaller market than Chicago or New York, but collectively our voices can cast a further, can go a further distance if we're synced up. If there's, and this is obviously in connection to downtown Boulder as a whole, there's a far greater impact. For our restaurant-specific industry, you know, I think joining that Slack channel could be really great. I think that's such a great idea to figure out how we can really, we are becoming lobbyists. We have to become lobbyists for aid and to get relief. There is no relief on business interruption insurance as far as my understanding goes. Bobby was on the phone with our insurance team. There is this random clause that they don't support business interruption if it's due to a virus or a bacterial infection. So that is just a very random provision that currently inhibits us from getting any sort of insurance payout for this. So I don't know what that looks like currently as far as using our collective voices and collective platforms, but I do think there is something there, and I think it should develop quickly. If anyone has any ideas of how we can, you know, as Boulder, stand together, and you know, the James Beard Foundation and I can share what I'm getting from them. They're just creating some graphics as far as stats, our contribution to the city, to the state, as far as revenue, as far as employment goes. I'm happy to share that as soon as I get that from them as well. But I do think it is important. This is a very important lobbying moment for our industry, and we have to raise our voices on this one.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin. Yeah, any information you share, we will definitely share that as well. Somebody asked about a donation platform for families in need. There's also kind of an organized effort, and I don't have it pulled up right now. I want to say it's the Community Foundation, but I think that that's a great idea. I will get information out of what we were told kind of collectively is going on from different groups, but the Community Foundation might be a great way for all of us to kind of rally together. So I'll get that information out to you guys after the call. And that's also a great idea to provide something to employees in need. I'm not sure how that's being addressed, but I wrote that down and we will look into that as well. A question about sales tax. Again, that came up a lot during our retail call. That is something that Chip was bringing back to the table to ask those kinds of questions in the meeting that he's at right now. So the use and how that all looks is to be determined, but know that everything is being discussed at this time, and we'll get you an update as soon as we can. Is there anything else that anyone wants to say, or any other comments that you guys would like to bring up at this point? Julia, are you seeing anything that I'm missing?
No, I don't see any hands raised currently.
Okay. There is a question, is anyone seeing an uptick in door delivery requests? We got to know. We were asked the question on the retailer call if people who are actually still around downtown, if there's been any change in transient behavior or the population in general. What we were told from people that are actually still close and around the mall is that it seems like maybe there's a little bit more stuff, either trash or blankets, being left around, but in terms of an uptick, nobody's really seen an uptick. The question about door delivery, talking about Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Hungry Buff in particular. These are ongoing. We were taking all of the notes down from the group chat, so we'll get back to you guys if people respond after this call as well. Okay, we talked to the retailers. They were interested in possibly just having another call sometime early next week just to stay connected, which is absolutely doable. We'll plan another call and then get the word out to all of you guys if you are interested in joining us. Otherwise, anytime between now and then, please don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything we can help with remotely. We are here to support you guys as much as possible. Please look for that rollout of kind of our promotion of, the takeout and delivery and all that good stuff in the next few days. And then we'll start up with our social. Please send me pictures as much and as frequently as you can. If Chip has any other updates from the meeting today, he will get the word out on both the Slack channel and also we'll send an email update for anybody that's not on the Slack. I think that's everything. We'll do one final call out. Does anybody have anything to say or any additional comments? All right, I think that's it then. Thank you guys so much. We are hoping for the best and we're thinking of all of you and all of your employees. So please let us know what we can do and we'll talk again soon. Thank you, bye.